Welcome back to our Solstice Series. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Caitlin.
Today we're marking Ostara, the spring equinox, that point in the year when the day and night stand in equal balance.
This is the season where the light finally feels like it's winning. Not aggressively, not dramatically, just steadily.
And like all our seasonal episodes, we're going to explore what's historical, what's symbolic, and what these traditions might mean for us now. So what is Ostara? Ostara is the modern pagan name often used for the spring equinox celebration in March.
The word Ostara is connected to a figure named Eostre, mentioned by the 8th century monk Bede. He wrote about a spring month named after a goddess associated with dawn or fertility.
And here's what's important. Bede is our only clear early source mentioning Eostre. There isn't extensive archaeological or mythological evidence about her beyond that reference.
Yeah, in the 19th century, scholars and later modern pagans expanded on that mention, and Ostara became associated with like spring, rebirth, fertility, and renewal in contemporary pagan traditions.
So historically, we know the equinox has always been important. The goddess story is more limited in primary sources, but widely embraced in modern spiritual practice.
Yeah. And then, the spring equinox has been marked globally, not just by pagans. Agriculture societies paid really close attention to seasonal turning points because planting cycles depended on them. This is not wine, by the way. This is
I believe you.
adaptogenic. You know how I am.
I love those. You just had the recess ones? They're so good.
This one's a new one. I've never had it before, but Clara bought it for me. It's Kin Euphorics.
Oh, I've had that one. They're so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
We should get them to sponsor us.
I know. Kin.
Hello. Okay.
Wait. Ready? This is how we get it. Screenshot.
Sponsored by We Wish.
Anyway.
Recess, if you're out there.
Someone tag Kin.
Right. Okay. In Persia, Nowruz marks the new year at the spring equinox. Many cultures celebrate balance, renewal, and the return of life at this time of year.
Yeah. So whether someone calls it Ostara, equinox, or something else entirely, this seasonal shift is very real and very human.
Absolutely. And so I think we need to talk about Easter because this is where the internet gets a little wild.
Yeah. Easter is obviously a Christian holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus, and its date is calculated as the first Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox. Hopefully we all followed that because that's a lot.
It is. And that timing places it very intentionally in spring. But Easter's theological foundation is rooted in Jewish Passover and early Christian tradition, not directly a spring fertility goddess.
Yeah. The name Easter in English actually likely comes from the same linguistic root as Eostre, but that's like specific to Germanic languages. In many other languages, the word for Easter comes from Pascha, tied directly to Passover.
So it's not as simple as Easter was stolen from pagans. It's more accurate to say that Christian celebrations emerged within seasonal cycles that already carried meaning for people, which is what we're kind of saying here.
Yeah, cultures overlap. A lot of times symbols get shared, timings kind of converge, especially when you're talking about things significant like equinoxes and moon cycles and things like that.
And, makes sense when we're talking about those eggs and rabbits. because eggs have traditionally symbolized fertility and new life in many cultures long before modern Easter basket.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times we think of rabbits as just being like a cute Easter thing, but rabbits are famously prolific breeders. So they also became a natural symbol for abundance and vitality.
This is where they always talk about the breeding like rabbits.
Yeah.
Or having like rabbits or something like that.
Although I can't, Buffy has forever ruined me. Anytime I think of rabbits, all I hear in my head is the song Bunnies.
It must be bunnies.
Yeah. Bunnies, it must be bunnies.
We should have worn a bunny suit for this episode. Where am I bunny ears?
Actually, you know what? I do still have some bunny ears from when I used to do kids' parties in the garage. I didn't even think about it.
Oh my gosh. Would have been dressing up as Anya for this one.
Dang. Missed opportunity.
I mean, if you have the fear of bunnies, maybe this isn't the episode for
Yeah.
you. All right. But in modern pagan traditions, these symbols are embraced as representations of life, returning, creativity, and possibility.
Yeah, in Easter tradition, they became a little bit more playful, right? They got commercialized, they're more child-centered. They're still the same symbols, but now it's kind of a whole different framework for what they mean.
The framework is called capitalism, in case
100%.
anybody was wondering.
And then the chocolate companies come in.
Right, the chocolate bunnies. Maybe this is the more fun part of the chocolate bunnies.
The gigantic. Have you seen the huge golden chocolate eggs that are like 5-10 pounds, or I don't even know.
It's
they're
a
like
whole
gigantic.
lot of chocolate. It's
Who
got
can
to
even
be
eat
just
that?
for looks, because I wouldn't be able, I would get sick if I ate like 10 pounds of
And then
chocolate.
yeah, and then how would you share it with? Do people like break it? I have so many questions
They
about the
break it
gigantic
open.
things of chocolate.
I mean, I used to get one that was maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 5 inches max.
Yeah.
And then you just have like, you'd break off a piece of it, you put the rest of it away.
Yeah, because it was in like a tin foil kind of thing.
Yeah,
so you could kind of
tinfoil.
wrap it back up and it was fine. But yeah, these ones that are like, oh my God, I don't know. I see them in the store sometimes and I'm like, who is buying that and why?
Well, I guess they're like, it's not just here in America. I know in the UK they have like the Kinder eggs. And I guess
Yes.
they're like they're large eggs as well, like filled with some like I think
prizes and stuff.
Yeah, prizes and stuff. And like I guess that's like something that a lot of kids traditionally have.
There you go.
I don't know. I digress. But anyhow, the spiritual meaning of Ostara. So, spiritually, Ostara is widely understood in modern pagan and earth based traditions as a time of balance and potential.
Yeah, we're not in a full like summer bloom yet, and we are kind of out of that stage of being dormant through winter. This is kind of the moment where things kind of tip either way. We're in the in between a little bit.
Right, because balance isn't static, it's dynamic. And it's that feeling of standing on the edge of growth.
Many people use this time for planting literal seeds and starting creative projects, cleaning spaces, or setting intentions around renewal.
Daylight savings just happened on the 8th. And it's not that the calendar magically changes us, but as humans, we respond to the light. And these seasonal changes also respond to the light. So our nervous systems are responding to longer days.
Yeah, I think you can kind of see that with a lot of people who get seasonal depression, right? When it gets like really cloudy and they're not seeing a lot of sunlight. It really is kind of integral to our happiness. And symbolically, the season kind of asks like what needs to grow, right? Not just plants, not like, obviously, like I said, people plant physical seeds in this time, but what needs to grow within you as well.
I love that. I think it's such a beautiful thing to ask that question, because if we're not growing, the question is, what are we doing?
Exactly. Yeah, you can't stay stagnant. And I think it's kind of nice to think that like every year you could start fresh, right? You have a new opportunity to start anew, just like the plants and just like the world, we all reset.
And there's no better time to do that than spring.
Yes.
So if you're observing Ostara in like a spiritual way, you might light a candle at sunrise, decorate with flowers. You could do the traditional kind of like Easter celebrations and paint eggs, or maybe journal about balance.
Yeah. If you're simply just like noticing the season, maybe you could take a walk and pay attention to all the things that are budding around you.
That's beautiful. A spring walk.
Yeah, and it's kind of meditative. We talked like in our early episodes about how you and I both really like Thich Nhat Hanh and his Buddhist like practices, and he talks a lot about things like this. Just taking a walk just to take a walk and just notice what's on your walk. You know what I mean?
It's a mindfulness. Yeah, mindfulness is really important. And I think something we've kind of touched on too with these Solstice series is kind of that meditative mindfulness aspect, where even if you don't have to adopt a belief system to participate in this seasonal awareness. Like our bodies are already, our nervous system is already responding to the seasonal changes. And so I think it's less about like not necessarily a spiritual belief system, although it can be, but maybe bringing more of the awareness to yourself of those seasonal changes.
But like it says in our like notes here, like spring belongs to everyone. It doesn't matter if it's a religious thing for you or if you're just simply noticing the changes around you.
Absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
the changes around us and within ourselves. How are we responding
Yeah.
to spring? For me, I'm waking up earlier because the
Mm.
light has been out earlier. We'll see how that changes with daylight savings. But I guess we'll find out. But Ostara reminds us that growth begins quietly.
Yeah, and balancing is kind of something that you have to do again and again, right? Balancing
Mm-hmm.
is a consistent act.
Absolutely. So whether you're celebrating Easter or Ostara or just the fact it's staying light a little longer, we're glad that you're marking it with us.
And we will see you at the next turning of the wheel. Bye.
Bye.
Keep showing up even when it's messy. We'll see you next time in the closet.